Welcome to the next installment of the Dayz Spotlight, and this week we are going to be putting the spotlight on Silo Entertainment. I know everyone's been looking forward to this video, as have I. I'm very honoured that he's taken the time to sit down and answer these questions for me and for all of you guys. Silo, thank you so much, brother. How are you today?
No problem, man. Pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, mate, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Can't complain. Even though I'm up at 4 a.m. in the morning to interview, mate. That's how dedicated I am to this. Mate, so what we've got is a series of questions. We'll break it up into a few areas, just a little bit about yourself, a bit on your gaming background, a bit on the how you edit your videos and so on. Then some Dayz specific questions, followed by a rapid fire question section. Then my favourite area, the viewer questions, which, as you can imagine, mate, are going to be pretty interesting. And then we finish it off with a few final questions before we close up for the day. So you ready to get straight into this, mate?
I'm ready.
Excellent. So the very first question, mate, how old are you?
I'm 24 at the moment, almost 25.
Yep.
I turned 25 on the 24th of May, so almost.
18th of May for me, mate.
Hmm?
18th of May, my birthday, but I'm definitely
really?
not going to be turning
Nice.
25, mate. I'm a hell of a lot older than you.
Yeah, we could do our birthdays simultaneously.
And do you have any family, mate? A missus and kids, or single man?
I live on my own at the moment.
Yep.
I moved out. So yeah, no, at the moment, no girlfriend. There's not wives or kids or anything. Yeah, I'm 24, so
Yep.
Still gotta explore the world and whatnot. So that's the next thing on the list.
And is YouTube your full-time job, or do you do anything else?
I'm a full-time design student, or like marketing and design sort of thing, media designer. So a lot of apps and websites and
Yep.
that sort of stuff.
So that probably
Also,
definitely helps you with your video editing.
and everything like that. Yeah, exactly. And but that's my full-time job or my occupation, and then I do YouTube on the side as a part-time thing. But I kind of fill pretty much any free time up with YouTube at the moment.
And do you have any other hobbies outside of gaming? Now, one I can obviously name is definitely airsoft.
Yep. Any other hobbies? I like to build stuff, anything with my hands. So get the power tools out and build stuff. I guess that's yeah.
You want something broken, mate? Ask me to fix it. I am useless with my hands. I am absolutely shocking. Coordination of a brick. Now, what is the origin of your name, Silo Entertainment?
I've been asked that question a couple of times actually. So okay, I was playing World of Warcraft back in the day, as you do, and I just switched my character, my hunter, from Alliance to Horde, and my name sucked dick right before then, and I needed a really good name because I needed something that was short, so people could easily type it and invite me to their parties and their raids and whatever.
Yep.
So I didn't know what to pick. So I was in the character, the screen where you put in your new name, and I was watching Discovery Channel on my TV, and they were talking about some kind of I don't know, stupid shit about farming grain or some bullshit, and they put that in the silo. I was like, dude, yeah, let's do it.
Wow.
That was the origin of my name, pretty much.
Wow. Discovery Channel is... You're probably going to have to pay him sponsorship for this, mate.
Yeah. Yes,
That's-
if you need a good name, just go turn on Discovery Channel, guys.
That's actually quite
There you
funny. Wow. Yeah, if well, no, my luck, mate. If I tried that, I'd probably end up with David Attenborough as my name.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Okay,
Probably sue you, though.
so who or what got you into gaming?
What got me into gaming, as a whole,
Yeah.
or on YouTube side of gaming?
No, just as a general whole. What made you fall in love with it?
Oh, I was as a wee little lad. I was my dad worked at IBM.
Yep.
It was kind of like the business Microsoft, as you could say. They focus more on businesses, but they're kind of like Microsoft, I guess. And anyway, he worked there, and there were a lot of computers going out of. They were being replaced with newer ones, and he would bring home these old computers that were being thrown away anyway. So me and my brother both had one of those old computers, and we played Quake 2 versus my dad because he was like already like into computers way back then.
Yep.
But this was like 1990 something, 1998 or something. I don't know, like really young.
Yeah.
So we were playing like 2v1, me and my brother versus my dad. We would get our ass kicked every game. But then like a couple of years down the line, things started to change.
Yeah.
So we started to kick my dad's ass, and it was always great fun. We always had such a great time. So yeah, like Quake 2 and Unreal, like the original Unreal was one of my first games that I played.
That's pretty cool, man, that you were able to have that relationship with your dad. You hear so many kids these days, particularly like I've had it said to me as well, because I'm an older gamer. I'm in my mid-40s now, but there's not a lot of fathers who are into it. They don't like gaming and all the rest of it, and they frown on their kids playing it. So it's good that you guys were able to have that bond over something, a shared love. Yeah,
definitely. Like, well, back in the day, like it was something. I guess it was something like new, and not many people were gaming back then.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole kids getting addicted to video games thing wasn't really a thing back then. But nowadays, my dad is not into gaming anymore, but he's still like really proud of what I've accomplished through it, I guess. Awesome. And stuff like that. But there was a period where my parents also didn't like me playing video games like all the time. Just to be honest. Yeah.
So what's your favorite game of all time?
Oh, there's a couple, but the ones that spring to mind straight away are Call of Duty 4, World of Warcraft, and Conquer Live and Reloaded, which is kind of an oddball in that sense. For you guys that may not know what it is, it's basically like a murderous squirrel with it looks like a real kids game, but then like it's like the squirrels versus the teddy bears, and they sort of like they're just super aggressive. There's toilet humor in there. There's real British humor, so it's great.
Wow.
And they just murder each other. There's so much blood in there. It's awesome. It's great.
A murderous squirrel. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I remember that game where you were a teddy bear that was a murderous one. Came out in probably about 2007, I think. That was quite a funny game, but I've never heard of a murderous squirrel.
Yeah, you should look it up. If you guys are listening, like go look up Conquer Live and Reloaded. It's super fun. Even the original one on the N64 was great as well.
So what was your first PC?
Pentium 2 something. I didn't even, I don't know, some crappy graphics card.
Yep.
I think it was an NVIDIA. All I know was a Pentium 2 processor, and then I moved up to like a Pentium 3, then a Pentium 4.
Yep.
It was pretty abysmal, but it got the job done at the time.
Ever been a console gamer?
Oh yeah, I've had an Xbox 360 for a long time, which I played like a lot. And I burned through like 4 or 5 of them because they had like the red ring of death.
Oh yes, the infamous red ring of death.
Yeah. So me and my friends from school were playing Call of Duty 4 for hours and hours after we got done at school, and like we just had a ton of fun. Even like playing through hot summer and everything.
Was that your first console? Was it an Xbox 360?
My first one was the N64 actually.
Ah, classic console.
Yeah, that was like Mario Kart and
GoldenEye.
Mario 64, GoldenEye. What else did I play on that? Bomberman.
Yep.
Bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
So why did you start making videos, or have you ever streamed?
Yeah. I've streamed on Twitch as well. Like
what got you into the creating content?
I saw Frankie on PC making his videos.
Yep.
And I thought it was amazing, like how he could turn a game like Dayz into like a mini movie. So that was sort of my inspiration. I wanted to make it into a movie. But I wanted to have my own style, so it sort of like changes to like a horror side of a movie.
Yep.
And try to incorporate some humor into there and stuff like that. So yeah, like I think Frankie just got me into this whole thing. Yeah, definitely.
Regardless of all the scandal and stuff surrounding him supposedly hacking and aimbotting and all the rest of it, I think everyone can admit that he made some phenomenal fucking videos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your best video?
My best video.
What's your favourite one that sticks out for you?
It's probably going to be Airsoft though.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I'm really into that at the moment. But that's actually a difficult one. I don't know if I'm thinking about the Dayz one. It's probably the one with the prison. I don't know if you've seen it. The prison event.
Yes.
I think it was like 2016 or 15. It was quite a while ago. But that one was pretty amazing. And I was streaming that as well. Like it was a live stream. But that just went phenomenal. That was great.
What recording software do you use?
I used to use DX Story.
Yep.
But as you can imagine, when playing Dayz, your frames just go to complete shit. And especially if you're live streaming as well, then everybody calls you dog shit, even though your frames are absolute garbage and you can't play. But they can't see that because they can only see 30 FPS. But, you know, as you may know, when your games gets low FPS, your mouse becomes custard and it's not going to work. But, I use Shadow Play now, though, or NVIDIA, whatever the fuck they call it now. I still use the old Shadow Play version, so I don't use the newer one.
Yep. Because as we were discussing earlier, geez, they've made some changes to it that, oh my god, does your head in.
Yeah, quite questionable indeed.
What editing software do you use?
Sony Vegas.
Sony Vegas?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I know a lot of my friends use Sony Vegas. Me, I use Adobe, but yeah, sometimes I wish I'd gone the Sony Vegas route.
It's if you want like fast editing, because I use Premiere as well, but just not for YouTube, I guess. It's just really fast to get things done in Sony Vegas.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a very user friendly sort of thing, and it does the job still after all this time. So for now, there's no real need to go to Premiere, but it is eventually, if you want to go better and beyond, you want to go Premiere. Yeah.
Okay, now for some Dayz specific questions, mate. Did you play the mod?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I started right after the mod released, almost like 3 months after. I think it released in like July, and I started playing in August, I believe. It was quite soon after it released. But yeah, I played the mod right up until Standalone.
Yep. And what is it about Dayz that made you love it?
It's a super unique game. It's really atmospheric. If I'm talking about like Standalone and the mod, because they're quite different from each other, I think still. But it was just super unique, and I saw a streamer play it. He's called Destiny. I was watching StarCraft streams at a time, and this dude was playing Dayz, and it was like, wow, this shit is so cool. And like I just fell in love with the whole concept of surviving in a zombie apocalypse where you always have to like watch your back, not get shot, and survive on the land. And it was just the concept of it just really drew me in. Yeah.
And this is also a question from one of the viewers, but do you still play the game?
No. At the moment, I don't really play the game anymore. There's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, it's just the game's been stale for a very, very long time, and I've been playing right up until from when it released in 2013 December, right?
Yep.
So I've been playing it nonstop since then, and then you go through long periods of the game being really stale, and just eventually you throw in the towel because it's silly right now.
If you could add anything to the game, what would it be and why?
If I could add anything into the game, let me think about that one. I don't know, like there's the stealth gameplay sort of thing that I missed from the mod. It's just something that I really want to see back in Standalone.
Yep.
It's the fact that in the mod you always had to watch your back and make sure you're not going to get spotted, because the guns, the rifles were so powerful that you could get taken out at any moment. In Standalone, it's not like that at all. I could walk through a field and not give a shit about dying, and that's just like the fear aspect that I miss. That is something that standalone players know somewhat, but not to the level of the Dayz mod. And I think when that returns, that level of fear and immersion, that's when the standalone is really going to take off again.
So who is your favourite Dayz content creator?
Standalone or the mod?
Either.
Back then it was obviously Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Right now on standalone, maybe Mr. Moon.
Yep. Not that he does a lot of it these days, but
yeah, I mean, like, who's really left? I mean, there's not that many left anymore. But yeah, I think Mr. Moon, because he just brings something new to the table. Yeah.
What, if any, now this is going to be, I'm going to be very interested in your answer to this question, but it's the same one I ask of everyone. What, if any, advice would you give to the dev team if they happen to watch this?
Well, first of all, they're not going to take my advice. I know that. They don't really give a shit about what I'm saying at the moment. 100%. But I've talked about this on my video as well, and it's just your concept of early access is to have the game be fun and playable throughout the development process. And I think there's definitely things that went wrong, not only on the communication side, the communication between you and your players, because you're not giving them too much information. And if you do giving them information, you're not using the right format in my eyes, because everything nowadays is being done in like really quick, concise updates on like Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, or like be really short about it. And we don't want, like, people don't want to read a giant wall of text. There are some people that do. Definitely, there's some people that do, but there's so many people of your player base that don't want to do that, and you got to cater to them as well. And it's a lot easier as well. Like, it saves you a ton of work. On the gameplay side, it's keeping your players happy as well. They're like, you bring in a new system of gun sway, for example, and it's just not playable. It was fine the way it was in Arma 2 and that legacy system. That was completely fine. If you could have copied that into your new back-end engine thing, it would have worked. Or you could use this new thing, but then tune it down, because the sway is just ridiculous. It's not fun. It ruins everything. And the decision of making the map bigger, but your player base smaller, like, is not going to work, because your player density also contributes to the gameplay of like the game experience of playing the game. And that's something that just you missed. You kind of missed there, man. It's yeah.
Okay, so you may have already mentioned it, but what is your biggest gripe with Dayz?
Definitely the gunplay. It's like not only that it's laggy, because it was kind of laggy in the mod as well. Fine, whatever. But the guns are not powerful enough. They're and people can run indefinitely at 30 kilometers an hour, which is stupid, first of all. And it was not the way it was on the mod, where you would like eventually run out of steam, start running slower. And you could do like short sprints and stuff, but eventually you go slower and people are going to be able to hit you.
Yep.
The sniper rifles were way more powerful. The bullets did more damage. You could knock somebody out in one shot. Half the time when you shoot somebody in the chest and standalone at the moment, they don't even feel it. They just keep running, and it's killing the gameplay. So that's my biggest gripe with how the guns are set up and how the bullet damage is set up and stuff like that. And they say like they're gonna do that when beta hits, do the balancing when beta hits. But this is like a number tweaking thing. You know, it doesn't take that much time. You already have the values in the game. It's just about number tweaking. So I don't. That's yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most in Dayz?
When that fear comes back.
Yep.
The fear of dying.
How many people do you reckon they should have per server?
I did a calculation. Like the Dayz mod Chernarus map had about 60 players, and it worked great for the size of the map. So the game area increased by like 33%, which means you need like 85 people, upwards of 85 people to make it fun, to have the game be like and the right player density to have the game feel alive. And you also need like cars to make it feel more alive, contested equipment and stuff like that. The helicopters, and that whole feel is not there yet, unfortunately.
Has your style of play changed at all? And if so, how and why?
It changed from the mod to standalone. I really had to adapt then.
Yep.
Just because, again, the guns were just way more powerful in the mod, and you would like go from bush to bush. You'd be really careful, and that you could run indefinitely on standalone. There's zigzag, and nobody would be able to hit you. Basically, you would 9 out of 10 times you would be able to get out of that field and disappear. And that's how it changed. Like, you're more safe if you're running around like a lunatic. Versus the mod. If you run around like a lunatic on the mod, you would die. You know what I mean? So that's how it changed.
What are you looking forward to the most in regards to modding once the game is opened up to it?
Newer maps, I think.
I think everyone is.
Yeah. Chernarus is getting stale. It's been the same for a long time again. But yeah, like maps, like there were so many cool maps on the mod, and they could do so much of that cool stuff in standalone, like Namalsk, like Tabiana, like Lingor. There's just so many cool maps.
I'm looking forward to those because I hardly played the mod, and for me, I'm just so excited about being lost again. You get to a point with Chernarus where almost every you spawn in and you can just quickly do a 360 and go, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm looking forward to not knowing which way is bloody north and where the hell all the good loot spots are, and just discovering it all again for the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, now we're into the rapid fire questions. So the first thing that comes to mind, say. Doesn't need to be. There's no right or wrong answers for this one. This is just your personal preferences. You ready?
Yeah.
Favorite long-range weapon?
DMR on the mod, Winchester on standalone.
Least favorite long-range weapon?
Amphibia on standalone. On the mod, Makarov.
Favorite auto weapon?
The AUG on the mod. What on standalone? The AUG on standalone and M16 on the mod.
Your least favorite auto weapon?
God damn it. The rack on standalone.
Yep.
And no idea on the mod at the moment.
KOS.
It's difficult. There's debates on both sides of the coin on this one, but I think it's part of the game. Like I don't think you can actually control how people are going to be playing the game. It's just going to be based on what benefits you as a player, and that's what game designers need to be like aware of and use if you want to stop kill on sight. And they're aware of this.
First person or third person?
The way that first person is done on Arma and on Dayz is not very good, and you get a lot of motion sickness, and the FOV is weird. There's just something weird about it. It's always weird, and the angle of the camera is also not right. So definitely third person, but I would like to see it go first person.
What's your favorite server?
I think Underground or Gens of Novo. Gens of Novo is probably one of my favorites. Yeah.
What's your favorite place on the map?
That's a good one. At the moment, Tissy, just because it's so like cool and has a backstory, and Tissy has a lot of potential. So I think Tissy.
Public or private?
Private, I think.
Yep.
It just but there's more of like a community sense, and
And
They
those
need to
two
bring
servers
back
you mentioned,
Ciao.
Jensen Novo, have got a community, and Daisy Underground, as most people know, is just insane. The community they've got, it's wow. So jealous of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we get into everyone's favourite part of the video, viewer questions. I wanted to start off with something a little bit light-hearted, and this question's from Aim Ilio. Aim Ilio asks, you know him, do you?
Yeah, I do.
He wants to know why you have a problem with brooms.
They're fucking shit, man. Like that. Oh my god. It just they took the time to develop. Though it's not that much because it's just a fucking broom, but it's just why? I don't know. It's just I don't get it. It's just I don't get it.
Yep. The next one is from Seska Rotan. He wants me to ask you if you could work out why horticulture was easy to add on the legacy system.
Sorry, say the question again.
The question is if you can work out why horticulture was easy to add on the legacy system.
Why was horticulture easy to add on the legacy system?
Yes.
I mean, it was easy to add on the legacy system, but it's I don't know. It's just something. Again, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that it does have a place in the game, but I think other things should have had priority. And like, you're still showing. You need to be really concise with what you say to the community when you're just putting in stuff like this, because often people are like, why the fuck are you putting your energy into something like this when you could have used it on something like whatever, So you need to be really. You need to say why you took these decisions, and don't put them in a giant piece of text because people are gonna read over it and stuff like that. It needs to be, nice, direct, short communication between you as a developer and your players.
Because that was one area of the video that I was when I was looking through the comments, and that you did piss off a lot of people who love horticulture in the game. Me, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I've used it before. I had an awesome video where I farmed in the middle of Cherno, the old Cherno, and then ended up getting executed by a bunch of guys. But I love it. It's another little thing of I don't use it a hell of a lot, but you look at communities like Daisy Underground that you mentioned, and you got St. Joseph's and places like that where people are constantly farming all the time.
Yeah, it definitely does have a place in the game. There's other areas that needed so much more attention. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, we're sort of getting into that with the next part of his question.
All right.
Can you guess why the devs aren't going to overhaul combat on the legacy system?
I know why devs are not going to overhaul combat, because it's just wasted energy, because you're putting in energy on an old system's going to be replaced anyway. The thing is, what I don't agree with is this number tweaking thing that I was on earlier. The system was already there. The system is still there. The only thing you need to change are literally numbers.
Yep.
It's all like that whole weapon sway thing. That's just a mathematical function. You change one number and the whole thing becomes smaller. You know what I mean? So it's all, I don't know. It's a small balance pass would have been nice back then.
Now, the last part of his question, he doesn't actually give an example of what he's referring to, so I'll let you guess as to what it is. Do you think that YouTubers with a large influence should fact-check prior to making public statements?
Oh, that's obviously about my video.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have read all these things about it, and I know about these and about the development process and how it works and why they're not putting in energy in the old system, but I still think there's severe communication issues between the developers and the players, and the decisions that have been made in the past were not good. I think eventually Dayz is going to be a great game. Don't get me wrong. I still love the game. I love the concept. I think it's eventually going to be done and it's going to be a great game. I just don't agree with how they handled the whole development process, because early access is a model on itself and is not the same as bringing out the game like Bohemia Interactive has done in the past. You need to talk to the people that are giving you feedback on your game. And if they're giving feedback, you're not supposed to ignore them or ban them or punish them.
Now hold that point, because I've got a question for you on that at the end, so let's not ruin it here.
Right.
Okay, the next question is from 2BB2, and this one's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but there is a fairly valid point in there. The first part of the question is, do you smoke very strong Dutch weed before making a commentary video on the current state of Dayz?
Wow. Great question. Quality shit.
Isn't it? Has he used the words on the web pages that are written by Dayz development staff to increase his knowledge, or is that too blurry after presumably getting stoned off his tits?
Mate, again, like you know what's behind all of this shit. It is just numbers.
Yeah.
Balancing things, again, it's just numbers. You're changing numbers. You're not changing the whole fucking thing. You don't have to rewrite shit. It's literally just numbers. And I know that because I've actually developed parts of games before.
Mm-hmm. Next question is from a good friend of mine, Uncooper. I hope I said his name right this time. I used to call him Uncuaver, and he got quite upset with me, so it's Uncooper. He also does some YouTube videos, mate. He's worth checking out. Kind of more upbeat sort of stuff. But anyway, his question: when Dayz's new engine is complete and has modding, what would Silo's ideal mod include?
What would my ideal mod include? I think eventually Dayz or Bohemia Interactive is gonna like put in a lot of shit that was already a mod in the Dayz mod, like a variation of the mod. But base building is something that would be really cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's just difficult because I think all this shit is eventually going to be official content of Bohemia Interactive.
What can other zombie survival games learn from Dayz mod and Standalone?
Oh, the immersion factor, the fear of dying, to base something on something real. Like the Chernarus map is based on an area in the Czech Republic called Bohemia, and that is something that just it feels really genuine and real and gritty, and it fits perfectly in the whole genre of a zombie apocalypse in a Russian spoken area. I don't know if the Czech Republic is actually like, is it still like purely Russian, or is it whatever?
Yeah,
it fits the whole thing.
Next part of his question, which I hadn't actually read before, you might have heard me chuckle a little bit just before. But once Dayz is in beta, will Silo eat his words? Like literally print out a transcript of his 2 Dayz critique videos and eat them with a nice vinaigrette on camera?
No, because the most parts what I was on about was the communication between the developers and the players, and it's crap. And a lot of people agree with me, it's crap.
Yep.
And you know, I think even some developers are probably agreeing with me that it's crap. And the decisions that have been made in the past were also not good. Against getting on the same topic.
What does Silo's ideal Dayz landscape include? Islands, large bridges, volcanoes, etc. That sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like pretty much all that stuff. But I love bridges. Like the Taviana Bridge is just something so cool to the map. Mm-hmm. It has like a whole new dynamic of people like asking for toll when you want to cross to the other island and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it just it's a whole new dynamic. So bridges is my favorite.
Okay. The next question is from Boggle247. Now, I am denied as to leave this one in here, but I thought it might give you a chance to respond to what a lot of people have called you. And there's another question afterwards, which is of similar sort of a vein to it. This one's from Boggle247, and he wants to know, who's shitting your Wheaties to make you such an asshole?
Why am I an asshole?
I'm guessing he's referring to the video.
I don't know. Like, I don't hate Dayz.
Yep.
I don't dislike the developers on a personal level. I think they're great guys, and it's just I love the game and I want it to be the best it can be. So it is actually a good thing to critique what you're seeing sometimes, but just be nice about it. You don't have to be an asshole about it. And I don't think I was being an asshole about it. I think I raised some valid points.
Well, I'm going to explore that a little bit further at the end, but the next question,
right.
which I said was of a similar vein, was, hey Silo, how do you feel about people describing you as the Bill O'Reilly of YouTube? So both pointing to the fact that to them you came across as probably too harsh in the video, but we'll come back to that. Now this next question is from Asab. I hope I'm saying his name right. ASSAUB. Again, this was one I ummed and ahed about. But how do you feel about sacrificing your credibility and integrity for YouTube videos?
Was I doing that? Wait, what? I mean,
that's the question.
I think I did raise some. Okay, all right. I think I did raise some valid questions about it, and I know all this stuff. Like, I've read the status reports, and I follow all the developers, even though I'm blocked from half of them now. But actually, just one. But yeah, I just don't agree with that.
Well, this next one is one that I think is possibly what they're referring to as well. And I remember noting this at the time myself in the video and going, huh? I was a bit confused about it, and it's probably a chance for you to explain it. But back when you did the question is from Seska Rotan. Back when you did your 0.61 what to expect video, why in that video did he advertise the plane as if it was near to release? Now, I remember watching it and thinking the same based on the way the video was.
Back on the plane, I mean the thumbnail or whatever, because I did say, like, a lot of this stuff is what the developers did back then, and maybe they still do, is they have a set of content that is ready for the next patch. They're going to be like, all right, next patch is going to be about this and this and this. 062 is going to be about animations and whatnot, right? And they also include a bunch of other content that is ready to go, but we don't know what it is because they have a lot of shit like going under the hood. So I was just listing all the stuff that was ready to go in. That's what I said at the video as well. All this stuff is ready to go in. We don't know which part we're gonna get. We're not gonna get all of it, no way. But we might get some of this.
Yeah.
Because we've already seen videos about it. We have already seen information about it in the status reports about how far along they were with these things. And eventually they decided not to do it, but they have done stuff like that in the past.
Fair enough. Turan Arek, I think it's more of a comment than a question per se, but does Silo share his sweet YouTube money with his friends, or does he reward them in another way? He needs them to make a scripted video.
I need them to make a scripted video?
He just called you out for making a scripted video.
No.
Simple and direct answer to the point.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was a bit of a funny one, but as we said, we were going to ask all the questions that were listed. This last question is from Barely Infected. Renee, if you know him.
I know.
What is your favourite moment in the game, and what is the feature you're most looking forward to in the game?
My favorite moment in the game? Probably on Standalone, it was still that prison event that was just so cool. It didn't have much to do with the game, but it shows off what you could do with like a community like Dayz has, and it's still a fairly simple game that's not done, but you can already do like a lot of crazy shit, a lot of cool crazy shit in it. So that's one. The feature that I want the most is probably just working cars and helicopters, just because it brings so much life into the game.
Yep. Okay, so that does it for the viewer questions. We're into the final few questions now. Now, as I mentioned before, I wanted to explore a few things that I picked up on from the videos. In the first video you did, I think it's a follow-up video, The response one. You attack the dev team quite fiercely regarding Twitter. Now, I personally agree with you with the respect to the official dev team handle that they do block people far too easily. But I also feel that you were not correct when you attacked the individuals for blocking people with their personal Twitter handles. My question to you is, have you ever blocked someone online on Twitter or in YouTube comments, etc.? And if so, what was it for?
I have blocked people, yes, because they were being completely toxic and it was just trolling or whatever. You know, it's not like I'm really like startled about it. Just that's what happens when you're online. People are on the internet and some of them are retarded or they're just trying to rile you up, which is the same for the dev team. And I completely agree with banning people or blocking people that do that. What I don't agree with is people who actually are being like serious about what they're saying. And no, I have never actually blocked or banned anybody from saying stuff like that, like legitimate stuff.
So you've never blocked anyone on Twitter?
I have blocked people on Twitter.
Oh, sorry, yes. Just clarifying. But not in your comments on your videos.
If they're being legit, no.
Yep. Okay.
If they're being toxic and trolly or something like that, yeah.
Now, this is a bit more of a comment, and I'm interested to hear your response to it. When I watched your video, I actually gave it a thumbs up. I liked it because you did, as I've said to other people on that, you did raise some valid points in it. But the one thing I think you did wrong was you allowed emotion to enter your debate too much. As many of us have got so much time in, effort that goes into producing content and all the rest of it, we all feel very invested. But I think the one thing that did undo you a bit with that video was how much emotion was brought into your argument. You could see that you were clearly upset about the state of the game, whereas I don't know, have you seen Deadly Slob's video?
I've seen part of it, believe, or all of it. I'm not sure actually.
His is a bit more. Yeah, I don't mean it negatively, but his is a bit more cold and just purely analytical of the game. Whereas your one, you did allow a lot of emotion to enter into your statements. What's your take on that?
Maybe, yeah. I could see your point on that.
Yep.
It's I mean, I've been heavily involved in Dayz for a very, very, very long time, like since the mod. And like I started making videos back when Standalone wasn't even released.
Yep.
So, you know, like I've seen the whole process from head to toe, and it's frustrating because, you know, like you, I also invested a lot of time into it, and then it has to fall to something as you know, trivial as this, which is bad communication and these weird design decisions. Mostly bad communication, I feel like. So, I mean, I definitely see your point. Maybe I could have done that a little differently.
Yeah. Status reports. You're very critical of them.
Yes.
Do you read them?
I read them, yes. I read all of them. But the thing is, I was critical about the status reports because I'm not only a YouTuber, I also do, as I said, I'm a full-time student on marketing and on new media, right? So I know what the psychology behind this is, how you need to approach people, because they don't have a lot of time in their day and you're trying to reach them, which is difficult. Like, it's not like the old media where, you know, people were sitting behind a TV and they're going to watch it anyway because that's it. You don't have another option. You're already there sitting on the couch. You have to really be short about what you're saying, and a video can accomplish so much more than a wall of text, or a picture says, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is worth 1,000,000 words. So you know what I mean? So that's my critical point of the status reports. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they're a bad way to do it, because there's also people that would like the full out in-depth stuff. There's definitely people who want that. I just want, additionally, I would like to see like short updates on what they're doing, because we hear like nothing for.
But aren't they kind of doing that at the moment? They've been releasing those videos from the different employees or different departments' perspective.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that's a step in the right direction.
Yep.
But the format that I would think was more effective, like again, this is not just a bash on how they're doing it, because I think the way it's going right now, it's all right, but it could be better. But the way I see this working a lot more effectively is 1 to 2 minute videos on what's going on.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Fair enough.
And that could be like about very like just 1 or 2 things at a time. But at least we know what you're doing.
Into the last few questions, mate. What advice would you give to people thinking about buying Dayz?
I mean, Dayz is a great game. If you haven't played it before, definitely go and play it, because it's still worth the money that it's you need to pay for playing it. It's still worth that. But don't expect a full finished game, obviously.
In your opinion, is Dayz going to be the game you hoped it would be when you first heard about the Standalone project?
I think so, yeah. I still think so. I think because either like Bohemia Interactive they're not stupid. They will make what people want, and that was like the original idea of the Standalone, to iterate on the mod, what the mod couldn't do as being a mod of another game.
Yep.
And if not, then there will be a mod or a modding community to finally, make what was the original idea of it.
What can we expect from you in the future, mate?
For now, definitely more airsoft videos, airsoft content if you're interested in that. For Dayz, it's difficult to say. It's I still really love the concept of Dayz, and I think it's going to be great, but it's taking a long time. And like once the game will be worth playing again and will be fun and stuff like that, and they'll fix the actual like real issues that I mentioned before, then I'll definitely start making Dayz videos again.
I look forward to it, mate, because you do make some very, very interesting content. Many a time I've been running around on Dayz Underground wondering if I'm going to get made to bark like a giraffe. Just for the record, how does a giraffe bark?
I don't know, man. You tell me. You could look it up on YouTube, man.
So you're asking people to do something that you don't even know how they do.
Exactly, because that's the fun of it. You don't know what you're getting.
Love it, mate. Absolutely love it. Look, final point. Is there anything you would like to add? Because it sounds like you've read a lot of the comments that people have written about your videos, and you did upset a lot of people in the community with them, rightly or wrongly. That's for them to, it's all about how you perceive something. But is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, like don't blindly follow somebody's opinion, even mine. I'm just saying it. Just think for yourself. That's I think that's the core of what I'm trying to say. Give my views a chance as well if you're really upset about it, because I don't want to bash Dayz. Like Dayz was a big core of my channel, and I think it still pretty much is. And I really, really want Dayz to succeed, and that was my message of the video as well. What I was trying to say. Maybe it didn't come across that way to some people, and if it didn't, I'm sorry. But yeah, then have to take everything with a grain of salt. My stuff and what the developers are saying.
Too easy, mate. Look, I know some people were probably expecting a bit of a bash sort of video or something like that, but that's not what I'm about. I just wanted to explore some of those issues and raise some stuff and find out just some of the general stuff about you as well, mate. Actually, one question I didn't ask is whereabouts are you from?
The Netherlands.
Yep.
I'm from originally from Amsterdam.
Yep.
I live in Utrecht at the moment.
Okay. And hence why you're able to get to some of those awesome airsoft venues that you seem to be going to.
Yeah, they're not really close to me at all, but because I live in like a really urban area. You know, the area around Amsterdam is very like densely populated, and I still live like in the general area of Amsterdam. It's like half an hour drive from here. So, yeah, there you go.
Too easy, mate. Look, thank you once again for your time. Is there any final thing you'd like to add?
Don't hate me, please.
I hope some people have been able to take your stuff with a different perspective now that you've had a chance to respond to and answer some of their questions. That said, it's all about perceptions. It's how people perceive something. So, mate, once again, thank you so much for your time and patience. And I really do look forward to you getting back into the game. As I mentioned, you know, that there was a lot of emotion in it. You can clearly see you do love the game, like the rest of us. And I hope that for you, you're able to regain that love of the game when they hopefully bring out 0.63 beta by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. I'd love it to be around the time of PAX this year as well. That'd be just fantastic to go to PAX on the back of a beta release. But yeah, I hope that the new player controller is everything that they promised it will be.
I hope so too.
Excellent. Mate, thank you once again, and ciao for now.